In a quiet, systematic way, Atomic Habits is not a book about change. It is a book about becoming. Through its pages, James Clear does not offer motivation in slogans, but transformation in structure. His central thesis is both humble and radical. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. From this simple sentence, an entire architecture of identity emerges. Clear begins with the foundational idea that habits, those tiny, unnoticeable repetitions, are the compound interest of self-improvement. Just as money multiplies through the power of compounding, so do habits. A 1% improvement each day may seem trivial in the moment, but it is decisive over time. Likewise, a 1% decline, too small to notice, too easy to repeat, erodes your potential quietly. The core 4 laws. The anatomy of habit. The framework, Clear builds, rests on 4 pillars, or laws, that govern the creation of new habits. These are not commandments, but invitations to architect your life. 1. Make it obvious. Habits live in shadows. To change them, you must first see them. Awareness precedes control. This first law is about cues, the invisible triggers that launch behaviors. Clear suggests a tactic called habit stacking, pairing a new behavior with an existing one. After I pour my coffee each morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. This piggybacks new identity onto existing structure. He also introduces the concept of implementation intention, a concrete plan specifying when and where a habit will occur. Without it, intention drifts into the fog of distraction. Environment, too, becomes a sculptor of behavior. Clear points out that the spaces we inhabit cue our actions more than our intentions do. If your phone is within arm's reach, it becomes your environment's loudest voice. Change your environment, and you change your script. 2. Make it attractive. We are not logical creatures, but emotional ones. This second law speaks to the craving that precedes action. Every behavior is driven by a desire, not for the habit itself, but for the feeling it brings. You don't crave brushing your teeth. You crave the clean feeling. You don't crave the cigarette. You crave relief from stress. To make habits stick, Clear encourages us to bundle temptation, pairing an action you want to do with one you need to do. Want to check Instagram? Do it only after you've read a page from a book. He also explores the force of social norms. We imitate the habits of 3 groups: the close, family, friends; the many, the crowd; and the powerful, those with status. Want to be someone else? Immerse yourself in a culture where your desired behavior is the norm. 3. Make it easy. Forget the myth of grit. Clear argues that habits are not built by motivation, but by ease. Repetition, not perfection, is the engine of mastery. This is the law of friction. The more friction there is between you and an action, the less likely it becomes. Want to stop watching TV? Unplug it. Want to work out? Lay your clothes out the night before. The path of least resistance becomes the path of greatest adherence. He introduces the 2-minute rule. Downscale a habit until it takes less than 2 minutes to start. Read every night becomes read 1 page. The trick is not to do more, but to begin. Starting is the threshold. Momentum does the rest. Clear warns against the trap of motion over action, planning, researching, preparing, but not doing. He reminds us that habits are built by frequency, not duration. The artist becomes prolific by creating, not contemplating. 4. Make it satisfying. We repeat what is rewarding. Our brains are wired to favor immediate feedback. So the 4th law insists. Close the loop with satisfaction. Clear acknowledges the great irony. The consequences of bad habits are delayed, while the rewards are immediate. For good habits, it's the opposite. Health, wealth, success, these accumulate slowly, invisibly. The key, then, is to make progress visible. A habit tracker, a checklist, a streak, anything to make success tangible. You may not feel healthier after one workout, but you can see the mark on the calendar. This law also emphasizes identity reinforcement. Every time you perform a habit, you cast a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Not perfection, but accumulation. Not one grand act, but many tiny ballots. Over time, your habits become not what you do, but who you are. The deep structure. Identity-based habits. Beneath all four laws runs a deeper thread. The shift from outcome-based habits to identity-based habits. Most people set goals in terms of results. I want to lose weight. I want to write a book. But Clear invites us to invert the model. Focus not on what you want to achieve, but who you want to become. I want to become the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts. I want to become a writer. I want to be the kind of person who reads every day. This shift is not semantics. It is soul work. Because when behavior aligns with identity, resistance fades. Habits no longer feel like obligations. They become expressions of the self. Identity is not fixed. It is built. And it is built, Clear insists, through evidence. Every small win becomes proof. Every tiny choice, a brick in the cathedral of selfhood. Advanced tactics and the plateau of latent potential. In later chapters, Clear explores why habits often feel futile in the beginning. This is the plateau of latent potential, the stretch where you are putting in effort without seeing results. He urges patience. Like ice at 31 degrees Fahrenheit, change appears stagnant until it hits the critical threshold. Then, suddenly, and all at once, it shifts. To succeed, one must fall in love with the process, not the outcome. Mastery is the result of staying in the game long after others have quit. He also confronts the challenge of maintaining habits over the long term. Habits can become automatic, but progress requires reflection. Without it, you plateau. True growth demands feedback loops. Ask, what is working? What isn't? Who am I becoming through this? A quiet revolution. James Clear doesn't ask you to do more. He asks you to do smaller, more consistently, more consciously. Atomic Habits is about trusting in the silent architecture of time, behavior, and attention. It is a book that insists on the dignity of the small and the immense power hiding in plain repetition. There is no high drama in this book, no urgent call to revolution. But there is a quiet revolution available to anyone who dares to believe that small things done consistently are not small at all. And so the book whispers, again and again, you do not need to change everything. You only need to be the kind of person who changes something and keeps going.